just as the fourth wave of the coronavirus is seemingly waning. Some 2,500 young doctors and interns have submitted their letters of resignation after the government failed to pass legislation putting an end to 26-hour shifts. This highlights some of the major issues facing the Israeli medical field, mainly the long working hours and dramatic shortage of manpower. Joining us now to discuss the repercussions is Dr. Cyrille Cohen of the Department of Immunology and Cancer Research at Bar-Ilan University. Welcome. So what can you tell us about this move? I mean, it really is unprecedented.
Yeah, definitely. Hello. I do believe that it is an historical day. In the bad sense of the word, I would say that it's a very sad day. Basically, we know that in Israel, those young doctors have been doing, shifts that are of 26 hours, which is unbearable, especially if you compare that to other countries. And basically, there was some negotiations the past few days, past few weeks, especially in light of what we've been seeing in Israel, the importance of the healthcare system in Israel in this past year and a half. So we were very hopeful when we saw that an agreement was reached. The problem is that we just discovered that agreement did not include really those young doctors in an active way. I think it was a bit different than what it was concluded at the end of the first negotiations. And the point is that it is not a broad agreement, but only it is focused only on the selected hospitals, meaning that it represents an agreement only for 10 or some 15% of all, those young doctors. And also it is very restricted. It will start only in a few months or in a year, et cetera, et cetera. So it's not a viable agreement. And therefore I do understand the decisions of those young doctors. We need strong doctors. We need strong medicine in Israel because it is actually...
Absolutely. I mean, my question is, how will this impact the hospitals now? I mean, regardless of COVID, which, we'll get to in a second, there's already a major shortage of doctors. So what's going to happen now in the hospitals?
Actually, I really hope that this is a bold move that will be dealt with quickly and swiftly. I do hope that, within a few days, some, I would say, kind of temporary agreement will be found so that, the repercussions on our healthcare system won't be, I would say, felt. The only good thing I could say is that we are seeing less and less, patients in Israel, COVID-related patients. So I do hope that within this lapse of a few days, we'll be able to reach an agreement, at least a temporary agreement, because I do believe that those doctors are also responsible for lives. And this is a last resort act that was done today. I do hope that the government will be able to accommodate their needs.
And let's get back to the coronavirus. We've seen the coronavirus cabinet meeting yesterday, deciding to cut back on a large number of restrictions. No more green passes for pools or outdoor seating at restaurants, but most significantly also is no more quarantine for school children if they're exposed. I mean, is this the right move with the fourth wave barely behind us?
I would say that, as far as, outdoor activities, I do support that because I do believe that at this point, we do know that the most important factor in contaminations are indoor gatherings. And we do see a very pronounced effect of the third booster shot or the third dose, the booster shot, on preventing, I would say, severe cases, on preventing even, I would say, infections. So these are good news. Regarding schools, I'm a little bit less, I would say, enthusiastic because we are waiting next week to see the results from a pilot of the green classroom that was enacted in Israel. Problem is that the government wants to move fast. I don't know if it's not too fast. I would have liked to wait a little bit more to get those results and to know how to best implement a policy that will help us, on the one hand, maintaining a regular school year, but on the other hand, will not expose kids and therefore, after the kids, their families to COVID-19. So let's wait and see what the government will decide. But I would urge for more caution when it comes, a few more days, just so that we know how to best act.
And what needs to happen now in Israel to ensure that we don't find ourselves in a fifth wave?
Yeah, this is an excellent question. Basically, I think that we need to focus on vaccinations, and we're doing that. 40% of the Israeli population already got, its booster shot. So it's tremendous and it's unprecedented. Of course, we are pioneers. But on the other hand, I do believe that we need to better enforce, the regulations that are left, like, for example, the Green Pass inside, like, for example, the issue of gatherings, et cetera, because this is critical. Also, we are moving to a new season. We are closing to the winter, and we know that there's going to be flu also, perhaps, that will impact on our healthcare system. So again, here, we can encourage people to get also a flu vaccine. So let's hope for the best, and let's maintain measures and not do our past, or not repeat our past errors to cancel everything. Let's wait a little bit more so that we can see that the stabilization of that situation.
All right, Dr. Cyrille Cohen, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today.
Thank you very much.